Hi everyone, thank you for joining in. I'm Inner Empress and this is Inner Empress Readings. So today we're going to be doing a pick a card on what is wonderful about you. So we have 3 different bottles here that you can choose from. Take a second, zone into which pile resonates with you, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. Alright, pile number 1 is for those of you who chose the fragrance oil. What is wonderful about you? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles and we have the Ten of Cups. So this is really nice. Okay, so I'm getting a few different messages here. I feel like you're a very grounded person, very loving, very supportive, very realistic. People feel as though they can lean on you for support, talk to you, a shoulder to cry on. I also get the sense of supporting people's dreams. That can be in a monetary sense, that can be in just letting people know, like, I believe in you. It also just jumped into my head of brainstorming. So I don't know if you're necessarily like the friend or perhaps even in a company where you deal with media, marketing, ideas, like having to come up with ideas. I feel like you're really good with coming up with thoughts to hand to people, concrete thoughts of something that people should do. For some of you, I see that you're a wonderful partner, a wonderful spouse, wonderful parent, wonderful friend. You really want to see people grow. I just really get a sense of like planting seeds and watering it and taking care of it. And you just really seem like a wholesome, well rounded person. And a lot of people like you. People want you to be around. People, I also just got a feeling of overwhelming. Well, what am I trying to say? Because you are so well liked, I feel like people kind of latch onto your energy in a sense, and even people that you just might meet for the first time or something, they want to hang out with you or they want to meet up again. And sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming because there's so many people in your circles that want a piece of you, want a piece of your time and your energy. But it's just because you're so amazing and you make people feel uplifted, you make people believe in something better, and you also make people feel like they belong. I get a feeling that you really just make people feel this sense of rightness and belonging. And I also get a feeling of being a healer. Like, even if you're just listening, I feel like you're really good at just listening, but you're also good at the advice that you give others. And it really blows people away because a lot of people, for some of you who come to you, they may not have stable backgrounds, and you may come from a stable background, like family background, or you may be building your own family right now, or um, be established in a family. But I just get the sense that you give really good advice and you give hope. You give hope for healthiness, because a lot of people kind of assume, like, there's no hope for positive relationships, or I just get that sense for some of you that perhaps lately you've been attracting a lot of people lately that you hear them talk negative about relationships, about family, about marriage and kids and things of that nature. And there's something about you or even your outlook. So if you don't have a family yet of your own that you started, I feel like just your outlook on it, or how you are as a person, how you conduct yourself in your relationship or with your friends, is so wholesome that it pulls these people in. And the reason why you're attracting these different type of people is because there's something healing about you. You give off a healing energy that reaches out to them. So they come to you and they feel this energy of just needing to outpour, just tell you what's hurting them. And it's because you were given knowledge to be able to kind of plant that seed of prosperity in them. You give people hope and a whole new outlook that life can be beautiful and everything you want it to be, if you're willing to plan accordingly, work hard towards your dreams, stay consistent and on point. So, that's what's wonderful about you. One of the things that's wonderful about you. career transition. Your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. For some of you, I'm getting the sense that what's wonderful is the fact that you're not afraid to take chances. Perhaps you have changed your career quite a few times in your life. For some of you, this may be just like the first or second big career change that you're planning to take. But what's wonderful about you is that, first of all, people are watching you. So as you're going through this transition, you are being watched, and your courage in following your heart, planning out what it is that you want and going towards it is igniting courage in other people. For others of you, going back to what I was saying about supporting other people's dreams, I'm definitely getting that feeling that, once again, what's wonderful about you is the fact that you're not afraid to push people towards their goals and dreams and water it and let them know, like, no, that doesn't sound like it's out of reach. No, I don't think that sounds far-fetched at all. Like, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. If that's where your heart's at, go for it. But what's the plan? And I think that, going back to you having wonderful ideas, you're great at brainstorming and researching. So I feel like when people don't know the steps to take, that they may come to you. And even if you don't know it, you're willing to sit down and research with people. So people really get the feeling they can bounce ideas off of you, and that you have probably helped a lot of people feel grounded in what it was that they wanted to go towards career-wise. I also feel that you take your career very seriously. No matter what field it may be in, you're very passionate about what you're passionate about. What just came to mind is anything worth doing is worth doing well. So I feel like that might be a motto for some of you. If I'm going to do this, I'm giving it my all. You are seeing the situation accurately. So this is another wonderful thing about you. You have a gift of perception and just being able to see the root of a problem. People may come to you and feel as though, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, and I don't know how to make sense out of it. And you hear this all, you see this all, and it's like you laser pinpoint focus on, well, this is the problem, or this is possibly the solution. So another wonderful thing about you is that you have wonderful perception, very clear perception. For some of you who are watching this, I feel as though you also may be psychic, in that you see things. That might also be part of your career. Some of you may be professional tarot readers or dealing with the metaphysics in some sense. And for those of you who that's not part of your career, you still use this gift to see. It's like you have this inner knowingness. You just know. Some of you, I also see that dreams are very big for you. So you get a lot of messages, important messages to you in your dreams when you're sleeping. A lot of deja vu moments, but it's because you're so connected that the universe is sending down this message to you because people listen to you. And so, you relaying this for yourself or to others, this message is heard, and you know how to articulate it. So you know how to take what you saw and make something happen, how to explain it to another person, how, to plant it and watch it grow in life. I also feel, though, that a problem for some of you that I'm talking to in this group, please try, because I also dealt with this when I was younger, try not to battle yourself so much, because especially with the fact that you're so grounded, sometimes you may disregard messages that come to you because you're letting your logical, practical side kick in, and you're like, oh, that can't be possible. I couldn't have known that. And trust your intuition more. All right, so we have fertility. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Okay, so there's a few different messages that popped through. For a very select group of you, I feel as though you may be midwives or deal in that type of nature. Something with children children, women, families, birth is important. Some of you could be doctors, nurses. I just get that sense of being around people, helping people with families, could be starting families. You can be a counselor for families. Pediatrician. Others of you, it might have to do with animals actually in a nature, being a vet. Could be some importance with gardening going on as well. Some type of nutrition. So perhaps you're a nutritionist. I just get a healing vibe. So for certain people, I just get a fact of like whatever it is that you do, something leads back into trying to heal others or nourish other people. I also get a feeling that some of you are parents. You have your own children. Some of you may be something with nurturing. Because I get this sense that even perhaps for some of you, because I'm getting a direct message for a smaller group that may have had problems with fertility in the past, there's still so much life, so much nurturing, healing energy within you that it's like it just flows into everything else you're doing. So your life is enriched and you enrich the lives of other people by just being who you are. Like that naturally comes through you. Also, you may be very creative. You may birth a lot of ideas, a lot of creative projects. For a very, very, very select group of you, something with sex. I don't know if some of you deal with sex therapy, or perhaps going back to the counselor, helping couples with sex, or even survivors of sexual abuse. Something with sex comes through, but in a nurturing way. So you give that nurturing, loving energy in that direction. All right, so cycles and rhythms. Honor the cycles of your body, energy levels, and emotions. Okay, so the last thing that is wonderful about you, I just feel like you're really in tune with yourself. You're really in tune with yourself. You're really in tune with your energy levels, you know, when you're getting low. Once again, that nurturing. So it's the energy that you put out to others and also being able to self-love, to self-nurture. Some of you might be environmentalist or very heavily into environmental issues. I also get dancing. Also dancing for healing. So dancing might be healing for many of you. Spirit dancing comes into mind. So you might dance for religious purposes. I also feel like because you understand yourself a lot better than a lot of people do, or are making steps to understand yourself better, I feel as though you are very in tune with other people's emotions, and that kind of leads back into why other people feel comfortable coming and talking to you, because you don't feel like a pushy type of person. You feel very understanding, very good listener, very, very nurturing, very loving. And you help people to balance themselves. You help people to kind of see the bigger picture in a sense. So that's what's wonderful about you. I mean, it's all been a really great positive reading. This is a very strong group right here. And I also feel like a lot of earth is coming through. Also a lot of water as well. I mean, you can be any sign, but definitely feeling like it's a very stable, just flowing, loving, growing vibe here. And I will give the warning, though, to be very careful, as I mentioned earlier, about hurting people in a sense, because you are so full of light. You know, you're going to attract a lot of different people to you, and you have to make sure, I think going back to the cycles and rhythms, that you honor your energy levels, because you being a giver, you may attract many takers. And people who are not trying to come to you and speak about their problems because they actually want to fix it, they just want to be constantly heard. That becomes very draining on your mind, your body, your spirit after a while. So please just make sure that, you're taking time to yourself, that in the process of giving, to your spouse, to your job, to your kids, to whatever, your friends, whatever, that you are also giving to yourself. You're taking time away, you're doing things you love to do, you're just allowing your energy to clear, and you're also listening to your intuition. Please listen to your intuition. You are very attuned, and the universe tries to speak to you through your dreams, through your insight, these thoughts that flash into your head, and you kind of stop and wonder, like, was that me? Like, I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, those type of thoughts, that's the universe speaking to you. So please just make sure you listen. And yeah, that's all I have for group number 1. If any of that resonated with you, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Even if you just want to say, hey, pile 1 resonated, let me know. Also, this is a very general reading, so if you want something more personal, I do offer that in my Etsy shop, and you can find that link in the description box below. But yeah, thank you for watching pile number 1. All right, for those of you who chose pile number 2, this is what's wonderful about you. So we have strength and we have the hangman. And so right off the top of my head, some of you may love animals. Dogs might deal a lot with pets or animals. For a very select group of you, I feel like you may have actually done something with like exotic animals. You may have gone to like Africa, or I don't know if safari is the right word, but some type of conservation type of effort for animals. Very protective people. I get that coming through for pile number 2. Very protective. Also, in a sense, some of you are very laid back, very neutral. You might be the mediators of your group. I feel like you're willing to see the other side, play devil's advocate. Some of you like to try new things in life in regards to, I don't want to say like daredevil, but constantly seeking out something new, always trying to take yourself to a new height, but I feel like it's in a positive way. So you're constantly trying to find, new healthy ways of thinking, of eating, of working out, of, things of that nature. Some of you may have tried bungee jumping recently, or that might be like a big thing for you, doing that. That might be a goal. For a very small select group of you, I feel as though something with the cathedral is coming through. I don't know if some of you are painters or like studying maybe the history of art or something of that nature, but I just get a sense of just being very enraptured in, I don't even know the word of it, that period of painting. Would it be Renaissance? I'm not exactly sure, but just angels and Jesus and art of that nature. That comes through to me for some of you. Some of you, I feel like, had a spiritual breakthrough come through recently. You might have went away on travel, and when you came back home, it's just like something during that trip really hit you. But I feel like all of this contributes to, what's so wonderful about you, with the fact that you're very open-minded. You're very open-minded. I feel like you're very compassionate. You are willing to try to see other people's point of views. Very friendly, some of you. Also, some of you are making efforts to become more compassionate, to become more friendly. I feel like, that might have been something that you were mistrustful with in the past because of like people who may have broken your heart, friends who may have betrayed you. But recently you've actually been making efforts to try and be more open. For a small select group of you, I feel like somebody works with rescue animals, something with rescue animals. Also, somebody does something with rehabilitation. That might be just for like a select or just maybe even one person, but something like physical therapy comes to mind, like re-strengthening of the body, of the mind. So once again, like in pile one, someone may be a counselor or a therapist here, but I also, like I said, get that sense of physical therapy. A masseuse also just came to mind as well. I think it's beautiful about pile number two that you're willing to also um, sacrifice your comfort, sacrifice, yourself for the greater idea, for, the greater good of things. You give so much. But I feel like it comes back to you in return, and you are very blessed. Very blessed. Overcoming difficulties. The worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. So you're very good with overcoming things in life. You're very good with seeing the bigger picture. I feel like you're also very good with helping other people to see that bigger picture. With the feather here, it makes me feel like through messages. So some of you, blogger just came to mind. Some of you may be bloggers. Some of you may be writers. Um, hmm. It's a lot of divine light coming down, and I just feel like you make people feel uplifted. And it's because you have possibly in pile number two have overcome some very difficult things in your own life. um, Disability just came through to me, so some of you may be born with or living with some type of disability. However, you are so strong that you don't allow that to stop you in any way, shape, or form. And it's just mesmerizing to the people around you. So that's a part of what is so wonderful about you. For a very select group of you, something with prayer circle comes to mind. I don't know if you recently have led a prayer circle or something with that. Something with that comes to mind. Also, for another select group of you, some type of organization or group that you may be a part of, with wings for something or angels for something in the name, that stands out to me. Okay, so the flow of prosperity. This is something else that's wonderful about you. You're very prosperous, and it doesn't have to be, I don't know if you can see this card. Um, Goddess Lakshmi is like dropping coins from her hand, and she's holding lotuses in her hands and this vase right here. And then I'm not exactly sure if this is Ganesh in the background, but there's an elephant, there's lotuses, there's water. And I just feel like you're very protected, you're very prosperous. Some of you may be well to do when it comes to money, like you've acquired a lot of money in your life. Some of you may just feel um, very peaceful, very, some of you have recently come out of a very hard situation and into a more peaceful time. And this is what is wonderful about you. Like I said, you don't stay in difficulties long. You're never stuck in them long. And even when you are dealing with something that might be hard, you always see the brighter side of things. Some of you are very lucky. In pile two, you are very lucky. You might be lucky when it comes to, like I said, money or things of that nature, but I think for some of you, people around you comment on that. Like, you might have won, I don't know, like some drawing or like lottery type things, you know, those type of or you may go to casinos or something where like the odds are very good for you. Easy does it. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So another thing that's very wonderful about those who chose pile number 2, I get a sense of you have a very just calming type of energy. People feel really relaxed around you. I don't feel like this is a busybody type of group, and not in the sense that you don't get things done, but I feel like you take life at a very relaxed, easy type of pace. You're not very stressful. Like I said, with this hangman here, it just feels like you're the mediator. You're in the middle. You're not an extreme. You're not, you know, all the way over here, all the way over there. You're in the middle. And you know, that's a very wonderful thing about you. I feel like you influence a lot of people around you who may not understand you. They may think you don't take things seriously because of the fact that you don't stress or you don't rush and things of that, you know, nature, but it's because you see the bigger picture and you know that things are going to get taken care of with slow and steady. Like, why do I need to stress out when things are going to fall in place? I feel like for some of you, that's a really big motto for you. Like, you know, what's supposed to happen will happen. Que sera, sera. Like, you trust in a higher power. You trust in the order of things. You know that you just know that things fall in place, and that's because some of you are just so lucky. Like, you're so lucky that things just fall in place for you. I feel like some of you are involved in LGBT QIA. I believe I said that right. Something with that as well, promoting peace with that. Some of you are involved in those efforts, in those groups. You may have recently came out yourself or have been contemplating it, or may even have been a support for someone in your family or close friends who have recently come out as, you know, part of the queer community. Yeah, I get a lot of peace. I don't really feel like you start trouble. I feel like there's a lot of peace in here. And true love, that is beautiful. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. So for some of you in pile 2, you know, what's wonderful about you is I feel like you truly love from your heart, and not even just in a romantic sense. I mean, you may be a wonderful partner as well, but you truly love your life and what you do. You know, you're not half-assing. Like, you put yourself into things that you feel moved to do, and I just feel like you promote true love in this world. You attract true love as well. Just jumped into my head that some of you have quite a few romantic pursuers. People fall in love with your easy nature very quickly. That can be problematic for you if you're not interested, and, you know, especially if you are in a relationship with someone and not seeking to be with others. You know, I try not to judge people's relationships, you know, models, the way their roles are. But I just feel like love radiates from you, peace radiates from you, and you just draw a lot of people in. And I feel like you're surrounded by a lot of true love too. So even with your family, your friends, you know, your community, you're really encased in love, and I think that's beautiful. For some of you, I feel like this may be very specific, that someone you love, you know, you feel like that is such an accomplishment for you, such a milestone, such a treasure in your life. And I just get the vibe that you feel like you have become so much more of a wonderful person by having this person in your life. Some of you feel as though you have become much more stronger and grounded by being with this person. For some of you, I'm getting the vibe that this leads back to the LGBTQIA. So some of you may have come out. It might have been hard to do so. You know, you might have been on the fence about doing it. And I know that can be very touchy in regards to coming out. But some of you found the strength to embrace the love of your life. And, you know, it's just been beautiful. This person has really enriched your life. And the love that you two share is wonderful. Very select group of you in pile number 2. I feel as though you may have a loved one who is in the hospital, might be recovering from something, or I'm not exactly sure, but just in the hospital. I see the hospital, and your dedication, your your love, your positivity, your consistentness has been such a beautiful thing to them, has been such a source of strength, of just a ray of sunshine for someone. And I'm just really getting that vibe for some of you in pile number 2. And I know that for those of you who have a loved one who may be in the hospital, I see a lot of prayers. I see a lot of prayers. I see a lot of I feel like for some of you this might have propelled you to kind of go towards a faith, or speak to, you know, whoever your God may be again, like reconnecting in a sense. This has also pushed some of you to actually go towards your dreams, go towards your goals. But it's the love you share with this person is what is wonderful about you, and they feel it. They really feel your love, and they're sending it right back. And so this is just beautiful. Pile number 2, you are very strong, just prosperous, you know, peaceful, loving people, and this is beautiful. All right, so that's all I'm getting for pile number 2. I hope that, you know, you were able to get something from this. If anything did resonate, please leave it in the comments below. I love hearing what resonated with you. And this is a very general reading, so if you want something more personal, I offer those in my Etsy shop. You can find a link in the description box below. But I hope that you really enjoyed this reading, and I hope that you walk away feeling even more wonderful about yourself than when you first clicked on. So thank you so much for watching. All right, so for pile number 3, let's find out what is wonderful about you. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have Judgment and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, so for those in pile number 3, some of you I feel like might be highly intuitive, highly psychic. For a very select group of you, some of you actually speak to those who passed on, to spirits. You may hear them. Very gifted group, very creative group. Also, for some of you, I get the sense that, like, you're a straight shooter, so you kind of tell it like it is. But that's a good thing about you, because you open people's eyes. You know, you're not trying to lie to people. You're not trying to sugarcoat things. And it doesn't mean that you can't deliver it in a nice way, but, you know, you see deeply into people. You see deeply into the motives of people. And I think that goes back to also for pile number 3. I feel like a lot of you are very intuitive, especially through your emotions. I get through your solar plexus and your heart chakra. So you know, like you know things. And the thing is, though, versus pile number 1, where the knowing came more from the third eye and the crown chakra, you get a lot of your intuition through your gut feeling, you know, through your heart, that center of your stomach also, where you just feel, you know, the gut instincts, like something is calling at you. So your emotions speak to you. And, you know, a lot of you in pile number 3 may be empaths. You just, and if you feel as though you don't connect with any of that, you might just be really really in tuned with the energy around you and just how other people feel. I also feel like in pile number 3, for many of you, you have high energy. You might be the high energy in your group, and therefore you affect the energy a lot of the times of the people around you. So if someone was to come around you and like, they're sad or they're angry or just low vibrating, your energy, your way of, like, I almost want to say bubbly comes to mind. For some of you, it affects the room you're in. For a select group of you, some of you are swimmers, something with water. You might even be a water sign, but water comes in heavily for some of you. Also, Peace Corps comes into my mind for some of you as well. Peace Corps or medic, something with healing, doctor, like something of that nature. Some of you might be studying to become a doctor. I feel like for a select group of people watching this, that some of you have possibly gone across seas to do something with healing, to either learn something or help someone, people, others. Also, something with a family member, and this might be very specific for just maybe 1 or 2 people, but something with a family member. I'm not sure if you had to travel across seas or just some type of distance away from home, or maybe it took you away from work or something of that nature. But something wonderful about you is the fact that you take time to nurture others and heal others. So I think that for this select group that I'm talking about, something with family came up to where you had to take time off to spend time with someone who is healing. For some of you, I feel like a grief counselor comes through. I've had a lot of therapists and counselors coming through in each pile, actually. But I think that's a wonderful thing, though, because I feel as though it really has been in different ways, and it's all very important for people to feel like they have someone who they can listen, who they can talk to, who they can listen from, and just receive knowledge from someone who really cares. All right, so we have you know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Yeah, I feel like this is a very, very intuitive group, and you really do get it through your emotions. You really do get it through your senses, and you're just really good at relaying advice, but I feel like more so in high charge situations. You're really good, some of you in group number 3, pile number 3, with calming people down. 911 operator just came into my head for some of you. Also, suicide hotline. Some of you may deal with suicide hotlines. Something with the phone, something with speaking to people. But you have this internal light in you, like you know what to do. And, really listen to your emotions, those in pile number 3, because I feel like that's where that knowledge really comes to you from. Also, something with babies is coming to me, but like newborn babies specifically. That might be important for some of you out there, but I just feel like you have some type of gift where it comes to newborns. Clear and shield your energy. Some of you may be working with metaphysics, and I feel like you're highly in tuned and you're able to help others in regards to like clearing their energy. Some of you, I feel like, may be in some type of armed guard or army, something protective. You're very protective. I definitely get that through. And I'm also getting a sense in regards to like friendship group. Um, two different things. Either you're the person who, if a friend comes to you with a problem, you feel like this energy of, you know what, I'll handle it, or I'll take care of it for you, or what, someone did that to you? Like, no, this is not going to stand. Let me at them. And then for the others of you, I feel like, you're really good at pointing out where other people need to protect themselves. So pointing out the pitfall before someone gets to it. Some of you, I think, help with a rehab, something with that, maybe a rehab center, or actually have gone through rehab yourself, and that's a wonderful thing in regards to you. Like maybe you beat alcoholism, or you're helping someone who is currently dealing with an alcohol addiction. I just get a sense of cleansing of the body and of the mind. Very insightful. Sometimes I feel like you have ideas, like innovative ideas that are just so they're so unique that a lot of people can't grasp, the idea that you have. You might be very much ahead of your time. Okay, so be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. So that's another wonderful thing about this group. You're very strong. And I feel like emotionally strong as well. Like you're emotionally strong. And it goes back to me feeling as though you are wonderful with talking with people when it comes to a crisis. Something difficult. High Priestess, you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. Yeah, this is a very just pile number 3. I mean, all the piles have had something divine come through it, but it's been in very different ways, as I said. Pile number 3, I feel like a lot of you are aware. And if you're not aware, it's because you may not actually be either trying to listen to your emotions, or you may be trying to purposely block them off. And I just feel like you're very aware, especially for those in pile number 3, if you actually are a medium and you hear ghost, you see ghost, or you may be a very sensitive empath and it's overwhelming for you. Even if you don't work in something that deals with crisis, you just being around a lot of people can be very overwhelming because you soak up energy like a sponge. So please make sure that you're grounding, you're centering, you're clearing and shielding your energy. You need to make sure you do that, because with this group, you take in a lot. You don't even understand how much you're like an antenna, and you're just picking up on the vibrations of people. And even if you're not mentally aware of it, you can get really drained throughout a day by just being at the office, walking around people, you got that friend who just keeps calling you, talking about the problems that they're going through. And it's like you're just absorbing. And, it happens to you a lot because you're so receptive to it. You're so receptive to it. So you might want to get you some crystals. You might want to get into salt baths. For those of you who, whatever faith you may be, you might want to connect to your guardians, your angels, to your deity a bit more. Just kind of ground and center yourself, because you're just such an in-tune person, and you have wonderful knowledge that comes through to you. Like this angel is literally like blowing this horn, and like people are rising, and this queen is sitting here and she's holding this cup that is surrounded by angels. But I feel like you hear messages from the universe, from these angels, from wherever, divine high source, and you may not always understand what you're hearing, and that can also translate to you just being a natural helper and wanting to help people. So you're hearing messages of distress from people, but no matter what, just make sure that you're grounding and you're centering yourself, because you are strong. You're very strong. And not only your emotional power, of who you are as a person, but also in what you pick up as a person. So for pile number 3, I feel like that may not resonate with everyone, but I feel like for those who needed to hear it, you need to, potentially stop trying to act like, you know, you don't have these gifts. Stop trying to block it. Maybe become more aware of it and listen to it. But also just ground yourself, you know, meditate, shield yourself in love and light, and just know that you're fine, you're protected, you're good, you know what to do, and you know your angels are with you. It's for a reason, because you're so wonderful. You provide this love and light back to the world. Whew. All right, so that's all I'm getting for pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If anything resonated with you, please let me know in the comments below. And if you would like a more personal reading, I do offer those on my Etsy. You can find that link in the description box below. But, oh, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Like, this has actually been really fun to do, and I enjoy doing pick a card readings because I feel like it helps to, you know, center and personalize on a message that's just for you. So I'm going to do more of these readings that are centered around, like, you know, what does the universe want you to know about you? What are your gifts and things of that nature? So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.